Okay, I'm going to be talking about making a clasp for your bracelet. Here I made this version of a double wire clasp, and that is what's attached here. I kind of prefer this one right here, the S Hook. This one, if you can torque the parallel line of the wire, it can get a little wonky. But that said, if you don't have a hammer or you're working with thin wire, you could use this style of clasp, and it gives you enough strength to make a clasp. Okay, so that said, let me first go over the S Hook style. Okay, so you would want to use your 18 gauge for this. And so your 18 is a little heftier than what we did for most of the linkage of the bracelet. All right, so here we are. I think you can see. Where are we? Oh, let me lift that a little bit. Okay, there we are. Okay, so I think I did about that much. What is that? Is that 3 inches? That's probably about 3 inches of wire. And you want to make just a very small little loop at the end of both ends. And so again, like we did with our chain making, I'm going to use my thumb as a brake and bend that tight against the plier, the point of the plier, and I'm going to try and make this as small as possible. Okay, because you want that to go through the eye. Some people add a jump ring to make it so you see how small I made that? I made that really tight, and you want it folded tight. You don't want it to be an open hook. You want it to be tight as possible. Okay. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that's going to be a little too long. So let's see, I'm going to make my first S, or my first hook. There we go. And then I'm going to do the second. I can kind of guesstimate where I want the second one. All right, so I'm going to make that clip, always using the flush cutter towards the work. Wow, so what is that? That's probably, I could probably have made that trim a little bit smaller. Maybe 2 inches of wire here. Okay, so there I am. I've got it clasped, or not clasped, but on my plier, right? Very tip of it. And I am making that fold really tight against the nose of the plier, folding it down. So it's not an open thing. And then here we are. There we go. All right, mine aren't even, but I have this shape now. Okay. So now I'm going to want to hammer this curve on either side. That is going to lock in the wire and prevent it from opening. So I would use the end of my flat side of my hammer. I've got it on my steel block, and I'm just going to do a little tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to feather that taper in. Whoops. You'll notice that it'll open up as you hammer, so try and keep that tight. All right, you're going to do it to the other side. Keeping it tight. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. Let's see if I can get that into a link here. Okay. So I would probably need to have my last link a little larger there. But there is a nice version of the S hook. Okay. So if you're doing sometimes I think these are called shepherd hooks, a shepherd hook clasp. I'm going to do this in the 20 gauge. Let me grab that. What happened to my 20 gauge? I'll come back to do a separate video with that.